Alright guys, this is Tommy of This Flipping Podcast. We're down at my location, North End Pub. We're getting ready to do some work on power play here, thanks to our good buddy David Yopp and his Yoppsicle LEDs. So right now I'm just gonna go into my first test mode, which turns on all of our lights. And you get an idea. As you can see, nothing over there. Most are working here. This one's a little dimmer. We come up here, got nothing. And then our real big problem area is up here in the V, where we only have 2 out of 5 lights going. Star rollovers are okay, 2 out of 3 on that side, 3 out of 3 on this side. But it looks dated. So we're gonna upgrade the LEDs here today, and we'll be using a few different products. So I'll show you what those will be here in just a moment. All right, so this is the product we're going to be installing. I ordered 100 cool white of the circuit board LEDs from Mr. David Yopp. And as you see, they have a hole right here. That is where your screw is going to go through on the back. We're going to have a solder pad right there. CW is for cool white. And then right here we have another solder pad. That is where our lamp controlled light wire will go. So this is going to be like our ground wire for power, and then our controlled wire going right there. These 2 little holes right here are through holes where you can add resistors. The reason you would add resistors is it eliminates flickering. We have a separate solution for that I'll be showing in just a minute. But these come in sheets of 50. They are just really easy to break out. Just push. I'm trying to do this one-handed, but it's easier with 2, obviously. And there's our LED. So we're gonna screw that in and solder it in place. All right, the next part of our project here is a new lamp board, or a LDB, lamp driver board, whatever you wanna call it. So as you can see right here, it says Stern, and we're clearly putting this in a Bally Power Play. If you were unaware, Bally and Stern basically stole the Bally board set. So it works. Now, I said we had these through holes over here on these LEDs to eliminate flickering. So why would I be switching boards? Well, thanks to some creative folks out there, specifically my friend Michael, we have already added resistor strips to the header pins on the back of this board. And what that's going to allow us to do is not have to add resistors to each individual one of those. I think these are like 7 to 10 cents each, and you use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's say you're using a couple dollars worth maybe of those resistor strips, and then you daisy chain them all together, and we should have eliminated our flickering. We do have a wire here that we will clip onto a controlled wire power source on the back glass light board, and that should get us going. So first thing we're gonna do is unplug the old light board, plug in this new light board, make sure the lights that were working are still working, and then at that point we're gonna start undoing sockets and installing LED boards. Guys, we have opened up the back box, done something that's probably somewhat stupid, but before we undid the original board, I just stuck the new one in on top of it, hooked up our connectors, so we can see how our lights are performing. We actually get one more light up top here. Pretty sure green was working before, now it's questionable. And then everything else looks, I guess this is out now too. So potential problems we're gonna have is that whatever controls this light right here, whatever controls this light right here, could be bad on this replacement board because it is also an old board, but we'll find out. The savings, a new light board costs roughly $100. This one costed roughly, like I said, a couple bucks to upgrade, and I just had it sitting around. So we will test this out and see what happens. All right, so we've got our play field lifted up. This is my spare part storage cabinet. So I've got a ton of old displays sitting in here. Tools that we're gonna need: nut driver, screwdriver, solder, and our soldering iron, which is back here in the box. Definitely gonna need that. Grab it. I think we're in luck that Power Play has a working service outlet. makes things a little easier. We've also got our LEDs sitting in here. So, first off, I've already installed the new light board. I've got a time-lapse video going of this whole thing, so you'll be able to see it. But we're gonna put that in. We're gonna do just a couple LEDs. I have not connected that yet to our controlled lamp power source, which means we should get flickering. Once we're done with that, I am going to connect it and we should eliminate flickering, ideally. So that's what we're gonna try for here. We're gonna start with up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the area we had a lot of issues with. All right, these star rollovers, you can see they're controlled over here, but this one up top is actually GI. So we're gonna see what we gotta do with that. All right, I've got that camera put in very close to the lamps we're going to be working on here. And our soldering iron is up to 750 degrees. I don't know what exactly is right, but that's what I usually work at. And actually, it doesn't look like we're gonna need nut drivers. These still have original screws in, which are Phillips head. So we're gonna be messing with the Phillips head here. And we are going to want to keep these screws, so I'm gonna stick them right here on the lockdown bar area, so I'm not losing any as I work, especially since my spare screws are actually at home. I don't want to have to make a trip. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking out the screws for the entire area that we plan to work. This one here has a heavier duty blue wire on it. That's going to be essentially the source where the power comes in actually. So when we go to solder onto that one, we're going to have to attach this to the pad as well as the bare wire that runs between everything. It's important to remember that. We're only gonna do one at a time, so it should make it pretty easy. Hard to screw anything up here. All right, so what I like to do is I undo the screws. I'm gonna pull the wire that's on that specific one and start melting the solder right where the wire meets the socket. And this old solder sometimes takes a while to melt. Come on. There we go. Okay, there. We are now off. Took longer than it should have, but it's done and removed. Now what I like to do is take my new LED. All right, we want to make sure that the diode itself is aimed up into the insert. Run our screw through the hole there, and I'm going to screw it in place. All right. Now, another thing I did last time that I forgot to do here on the video was I soldered the pads, but we should be okay doing it this way. Not as great, but we'll manage. There we go. We are attached. I am going to pre-solder the controlled wire pad here. There you are. Boom. Easy peasy. Pull that wire right from that socket. Undo it. Do whatever you want with the socket. I won't be using them in the future, so I'm going to start trashing them or selling them. And our control wire goes on. We're done. That's it. And then I move to the next one. The whole reason I go one at a time here is so very specifically, I don't mix up my controlled wires and have something lighting that shouldn't be lighting at that time. That's why I do it one at a time. If you like reading schematics, you'd rather just unsolder everything and then solder everything back, you can do that. Sure. Why not? Just not my thing. All right, so we got all 5 of those done. Made sure we reconnected our blue wire as well as the bare wire. And we're gonna power on and see if they're working. GI obviously came on. And 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 working lights. Got it from this side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you remember before, those were previously not working. Now they are. We also have cool white in there, as you can see. So those inserts actually look white and not yellow to me, which is what I like as a comparison. Look at, ooh, where are we at? Canadian flag there. Yeah, it's hard to tell there because I got white lights reflecting onto it, but there is a difference, I assure you. So anyway, our flying V looks to be going good, and it's actually not flickering already, which is kind of interesting to me. I thought it would be. We're gonna keep going, and we will test this here momentarily. All right, we just powered the machine back on. I replaced the incandescents on the star rollovers here with LEDs. Look much brighter, and although you can't tell from behind, see we've got the Yoppsicles installed at every single insert, and as it's going through a track mode, they are working. Now again, it's hard to see here. We can go to this side. You can see that they are all coming on now, although there is flickering, which is hard to see from this angle. I'm gonna put the plate field down so we can really get a good look at it. Alright. So it's hard to capture on camera, but now you can see all those inserts that we had issues with before. Specifically, I know this one was out. We had a couple out through this row. We had most of these out. But what we do have is flickering. It's very hard to tell on camera. There's some pulsation every time those things come on. So what we're gonna do is open up our back box here. We've got our new board that I again modified with those resistor strips. We have this, and where we need to connect to is the same as one of the controlled lamps on the backboard. So I'm looking for one that has a little wire going to it. We're gonna put it right on there. And unfortunately, it's actually not eliminating all of our flickering. We still have some flickering down in these lights. So we have smooth here and flickering down through these 3. It's only those 3. I'm guessing I have a bad solder joint somewhere on the back of one of those resistor strips because, well, I did it, so it wouldn't surprise me at all. But more importantly, every insert is lit and they're all lit well. So we're gonna call that good for now, I think. I'm gonna try moving the clip a little bit. No, it's not translating great here, but we are very happy with this. All of the inserts are working on Power Play for the first time since I've owned the game, which has been a few years at this point. close this. And well, there you have it. We have a game that is well lit. With the new board, I can actually replace all the incandescents here in the back box too. And since I have brought extra LEDs with me, I will probably do that while I've got it opened. Save more energy on the game. And you can see the difference in the white versus yellow. Again, that's preference, but I definitely prefer the cool white look, especially on this game where you're on the ice. The ice is typically white. It's the way to go. All right. Well, we're going to put the camera down, finish changing out those bulbs, and then from that point, I will actually be rebuilding the upper flippers, and we'll get a game. All right, guys. So it took about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 total. As you can see, every insert is working except for this one. And that one does work sometimes. There's something on the board with that. We also fixed our GI issue. Turns out it was just bad bulbs. So this whole side of the playfield is lit back up. But everything is working. We've got 2 inserts that are flickering. You can kind of see it now, and the rest are stable. Right here, 5,000 and 7,000. So what we're gonna do is we'll add resistors to those boards. I just forgot to bring them with me. But there you have it. Everything else is good to go. Gonna eventually replace these pop bumper ones too. I might see if I have some more bulbs with me actually and do those now. I've got apart. But there you go, man. This whole game has been Yoppsicled. It looks great. Let's lift up this playfield real quick to show you what it looks like from underneath. Clean, easy to do, very modern. Put that one back there. We also put LED bulbs, just regular bulbs for all of our star rollovers. Huge difference in brightness. Makes it so they're very visible. And there you have it. So power play is looking brand new. Kill the power real quick. Get out of the light test and you can see what it looks like lit up. Balls in my pocket there. And let's go ahead and start the game up. There you are.